movieweb.com.
This is the second time you're working with Joaquin, and apart from a couple light moments in the very opening scene, every other scene between you two is like very dramatic. There's a lot of tension, a lot of like real, meat and potatoes in there. Talk about filming those scenes and how you kind of come down from that at the end of the day and then fire it back up the very next day.
I think it was fantastic to have to do that kind of work, or to be doing that kind of work. I didn't have to. Did choose to do it. To do that kind of work with someone who's that talented and who's that generous and available as an actor as Joaquin, and Terry George also is right there. He's a brilliant director and he's such a talented writer. So as we worked on it, we could, the script evolved as we went along, and so it felt very integrated and collaborative and kind of, I don't know. It was really extraordinary. So, but the subject matter was difficult, and I think that because of the way, we were in the practical location and shooting a lot of scenes every day, and it was a little bit relentless, the schedule. So I think it kind of stayed with me throughout pretty much the duration of the filming. It was always sort of underneath. I was having sort of physical symptoms working on the movie that didn't really go away until we wrapped.
A question about your choices recently. With This and Little Children, it's kind of like, tragedy hits suburbia, where these people who have these idyllic lifestyles just have everything kind of, tossed on the shit end, and they have like a real problem to face. Is that what appealed to you about this script, or was there something else that really, led you to this kind of suburbia type movie?
I thought that Little Children was a movie that was sort of looking at suburbia. This felt to me like it was, it's a great drama, and then it turns into a really compelling, almost thriller. And I was just very moved by it. It was beautiful writing. It was beautiful storytelling, I thought. And I don't think it's just about suburbia. It feels like it's about America, about every family. It could be any family. And I think it's interesting how it moves from a story of this family's tragedy into this sort of look at how do we respond to loss and violence, and what is this sort of need to seek revenge, and what's it about? Where does it come from? What does it lead to? Does it help? I think it becomes a really interesting, thought-provoking film.
All right, one last quick question about Terry George. Big fan of his. I think that he shoots human tragedy very well and goes out there and really tries to make it more and more beyond the emotion, makes it more real. How does that manifest itself on set as a director?
He's very fluid, in that he is not afraid to let a scene go in its own direction on that given day. So, and I don't know where that comes from, that confidence to let that happen. Maybe it's because he's such a good writer. He's got the skeleton in his head, and he's able to recalibrate if something unanticipated happens. He's able to work on it as we go along, and adjust for the specific people who are in his film on that specific day, So it felt like it was really a work in progress as we went along.